Good morning, students. Welcome to our online e-learning class. This is your second period and the subject is political science. Students, today we are beginning with a new chapter and this is the last chapter from book 1, that is Contemporary World Politics. So this is the last chapter according to the new revised updated syllabus which is given by the CBSE. And the sixth chapter is globalization. I appeal my students to watch and listen this video carefully with a lot of concentration and attention to understand the topic in a easier way. In this chapter, we are going to read that what is meant by globalization, when does it started, what are the causes for globalization, what are the consequences of globalization? For example, political consequences, economic consequences, cultural consequences. So all the consequences which are related to globalization we will read in this one. Also we will read what is the impact of globalization on all the countries. Particularly what is the impact of globalization on India. At the same time, how India also affected the world globalization, that also we will read. Similarly, why do people resist globalization? Several social movements took place in the country against the globalization. So all these things we are going to cover in this chapter. So students, as I told you, this is the final chapter of the book 1 and the topic is globalization, chapter 6. Okay, so in this final chapter of the book, we look at globalization, something that has been referred in many chapters of this book and textbooks of many other subjects. The same topic you might have come across in many chapters of the same book or in some other books. We begin by analyzing the concept of globalization. What is meant by actually globalization is, what globalization is, and then examine what are the causes for globalization. First we will understand what is the meaning of the term globalization. Next we will examine and analyze what are the causes for globalization. We then discuss at the political, economic, cultural consequences of globalization. Our interest is also in studying the impact of globalization. What is the impact of globalization on all the countries in the world and also on India, as well as how India is affecting globalization. What is the impact of globalization on India and how India is affecting the globalization, that also we will read in this chapter. We finally draw attention to resistance. To resist means what? To oppose, to resistance to globalization. How we can resist globalization, and how social movements in India also form a part of this resistance. So students, first of all we will learn what is meant by globalization. What is meant by globalization? That is it. So before understanding the concept of globalization, first we'll go through an example. So listen to the example, students, carefully. I am reading it. Janardhan. The name itself indicates a South Indian. So Janardhan works in a call center. Generally, these call centers are working. Call centers are run by, owned by, controlled by many multinational corporations, many multinational companies. Many MNCs call centers are located in India, particularly in Bangalore city, Pune, Noida, Bengaluru, and many cities. These call centers are there. Why they choose India as a call center? Because Indians are, the human resources easily available, and Indians English can be easily understood by all the people all over the world. Okay, so moreover, the human resource in India is cheaply available. Okay, cheaply available at lesser salaries they can work. So Janardhan works in a call center. Okay, he leaves late in the evening for work. Every day, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock or 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. in the evening. So every day he leaves late in the evening for work. He is leaving his house and going to his call center. Okay, late evening. Acquires a new accent. Accent means what? Whenever he is speaking in the call center, he changes his accent, how to pronounce. He is changing this accent of speaking. Okay, accent, and speaks a different language. He speaks a different language. Okay, a different language than he does when he at home. The way in which he is speaking at home. The way in which he is speaking at home normally, that accent is not using when he is working in the call center. Okay, so he is using a different accent or language, okay, to communicate with his clients. To communicate with his clients, he is using different accent, different style of language. Okay, who are living thousands of miles away from him. This person in the call center is talking with whom? With his clients. Those clients who are staying far off, thousands of miles away from him. With them he is communicating in English language with a different accent other than the accent which is using in his home. He works the whole night. He works in the whole night. Why? Because whenever it is night in India, in other countries, some countries, it is daytime. For us it is night. But them it is what? Morning, daytime. That's why we need to work at night. Okay. So he works the whole night, which is actually daytime for its overseas customers. He is working in night. He is speaking to them, to his clients, who stationed at thousands of miles away. Why is working at night only? Why not daytime? Because here it is daytime, but the customers, the clients with whom he is talking, they are residing in the countries where it is daytime. Okay. Janardhan is rendering a service. He is giving a service. So call centers comes under what? Service sector. Call center comes under service sector. So Janardhan is rendering a service, okay, to somebody who in all probability he is never likely to meet physically. So Janardhan, this person who is working in the call center in India, is talking with his clients who are physically located 1,000 miles away. He cannot meet his customers and clients physically. Okay, this is his daily routine. Late evening, leaving his house, going to the call center, working there throughout the night. Okay. His holidays also do not correspond to the Indian calendar. He is not getting holidays as per the Indian calendar, the calendar which we are using in our daily life. He is not getting holidays on Pongal or Christmas or Dashara or Diwali. So what is it here? This is his daily routine. His holidays are also do not correspond, do not match to the Indian calendar, but to those of his clients who happen to from the US. So he is getting holidays. He is getting holidays when the people of other countries, USA, Australia, England, France, when they are having holidays, at the time this person is getting, Janardhan is getting what? Holidays. See how different job is doing. Okay, Ramdhari. Ramdhari, another issue. Ramdhari has gone shopping to buy a birthday gift for his 9 years old daughter. Ramdhari, a woman. She went to shopping to purchase a gift for his 9 years old daughter. I'm sorry. Ramdari is a person. Ramdar is a person. He has gone for shopping to buy a birthday gift for his 9 years old daughter. He was promised her a small cycle. Ramdari promised her daughter for purchasing a small cycle to gift her on his birthday. On her birthday. So he has promised her a small cycle and decides to search the market for something he finds affordable. I mean, which he can spend, which he can purchase, affordable as well as reasonable quality. I mean, he is searching such a cycle in the market which he can afford in purchasing and of course having the good quality. He finally does buy a cycle. He finally purchased a cycle. He finally does buy a cycle which is actually manufactured in China. The cycle which is purchasing from the market is actually manufactured at where? China. But is being marketed in India. This cycle is produced, manufactured in China, the country China, but it is marketed in where? India. Okay. But it's been marketed in India. It meets its requirements of quality as well as affordability. I mean, the cycle which he saw, that cycle he can purchase from his pocket money, the money from which is there in his pocket, and also of course the quality is good. Okay. And Ramdari decides to go ahead with his purchase. He purchased. Last year Ramdari, on his daughter's insistence, had brought her a Barbie doll. This year is giving a cycle for his 9 years daughter. Last year when his daughter is of 8 years, he promised to give a Barbie doll, which was originally manufactured in the US, United States of America, Barbie dolls, but was being sold in India. American goods, American toys are sold in India. Now the question is, how they come to India? How they sold in India when it is manufactured in USA or China? It's all because of what? Globalization. Globalization is encouraging the free trade among all the countries. It is encouraging free trade among all the countries. And it is controlled by WHO, World Trade Organization. Okay. So, next one. Sarika. A woman, name itself indicates a woman, is a first generation learner. She is a first generation learner who has done remarkably well throughout her school and college. College life, by working very hard. She used to work very hard both from school days and college days. She now has an opportunity to work, to take a job or to take on a job and begin an independent career. She is a brilliant student. She was good at school days, all school classes. Academically, her performance was excellent. Even in college years also, she did well. Now, she wanted to start her independent career by joining in a job, which the women of her family had never dreamt earlier. Her family members never dreamt that she will get a job like this, which the women of her family had never dreamt of earlier. While some of her relatives are opposed to this job, when she chose that job, some of her relatives opposed how this girl Sarika will do. They opposed. They said not to choose such a job. She finally decides to go ahead. She decided that she will choose that career only. She decided to move ahead. Okay. Despite her relatives' opposition, she finally decided to go ahead because of the new opportunities that have seen made available to her generation. So here 3 examples are given. One is the first person, Janardhan. Second is Ramdari. And third is this girl, Sarika. All 3 examples tells us an aspect of each of what we call globalization. All these three examples tells us about or indicates us about globalization. In the first instance, Janardhan was participating in the globalization of services. He is giving service in the present global world. Ramdari's birthday purchases tells us something about the movement of commodities from one country to other country. How the goods have the movement from one country to other country, exports and imports. Okay, Sarika faced with a conflict of values, partly originating from a new opportunity that earlier was not available to the women. Earlier those jobs are not available to women, but today those jobs are available to women in her family. But today is a part of reality that has gained wider acceptability. Today everybody is accepting such jobs. If you look for examples of the use of the term globalization, if you look for examples of the use of the term globalization in real life, we will realize that it is used in various contexts, different senses, different contexts. We are using the word globalization. Let us look at some examples. Different from the ones which we have looked at above. Now another example. Some farmers committed suicide. Some farmers committed suicide because their crops failed. Because of the failure of the crops of the farmers, they decided and committed suicide. This is also taking place in India, especially in Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. Most of the farmers are committing suicides due to failure of the crops, cotton crop and any other crops. They are drinking the pesticides and committing suicides in their fields itself. In the agriculture field itself, they are committing suicides by drinking the pesticides. Because of the failure of the crops, they cannot clear the loans which they have taken. Okay. So, some farmers committed suicide because their crops failed. They had brought very expensive seeds. They purchased actually expensive seeds supplied by multinational corporation or multinational company. These farmers who committed suicide, actually why they committed suicide? Because they spent a lot of money and purchased expensive, good quality, graded seeds which is sold by an MNC company. An Indian company brought a major revival company based in Europe. I repeat, an Indian company bought a major revival, change. An Indian company bought a major revival, company based in Europe. Despite opposition protests by some of the current owners, it was happened. This is another issue. Another example. Many retail shopkeepers fear that they would lose their livelihoods if some major international companies open retail chains in the country. Many Indian retailers, many Indian retail shopkeepers, they are always having a fear of losing the livelihood. Why they had the fear of losing livelihood? Because they had always a fear that maybe any major international companies may open the retail chains of shops in our country India. If that is done, then the small retailers, they will lose their livelihood. Similarly, a film producer in Mumbai was accused of lifting the story. A film producer from Mumbai was accused, blamed, accused of lifting the story of his film from another film made in Hollywood. Simply copied a Hollywood story. He simply copied the Hollywood story and he remade the story in our Bollywood, and for which he was accused, blamed. Similarly, a militant group issued a statement. Many militant groups are there. They issued a statement threatening college girls. They issued a message threatening the college girls who wear Western clothes. For example, here Maoists, Naxals, like that, these militant groups, they issued a threatening statement to all the girls, college girls who are wearing the Western form of dresses. So these examples, what are examples I have mentioned now, these examples show us that globalization need not always be positive. These examples always tells us that globalization need not to be always having positive effect. Okay, sometimes it is having positive effect. Sometimes it may have negative effect. But globalization does not mean it will always have the positive impact only. So globalization, okay, or need not always be positive. It can be negative consequences also. Globalization have negative consequences on countries. Okay. Indeed there are many who believe that globalization has more negative consequences. Some people says that globalization is having more negative consequences and less positive consequences or less positive impact. Some people say that globalization is having more positive impact and less consequences. So we need to, as a consumer, as a member of the global world, you need to think, analyze, and you need to come to a conclusion that really globalization is having more negative effects and less positive impact, or more positive impacts and lesser negative impacts. We have to understand that one. So indeed there are many who believe that globalization has more negative consequences than positive. These examples also shows us that globalization need not be always about positive. Sometimes it has negative effects also. So these examples also shows us that globalization need not be only about the economic issues. Globalization is not only dealing about economic issues, I mean trade and commerce. Okay, but also have political and cultural impact also. So something said here, this globalization not only is having about economic issues, nor in the direction of influence always from rich to poor countries. Since much of the usage tends us to imprecise, it becomes important to clarify what we mean by globalization. Globalization is a concept. Listen carefully, students. Globalization as a concept fundamentally deals with flows. Here flows which we have studied in economics. Flows of goods and services. Flows of funds from loans from other countries, or flows of funds from one nation to other nation. Flows of goods and services from one nation to other nation. So globalization as a concept fundamentally deals with flows. These flows could be various kinds. Flows of goods and services, flows of funds from one country to other country. Ideas and also flows of ideas. Ideas are moving from one nation to other nation. Because of globalization, ideas are also moving from one nation to other nation. Culture is moving from one nation to other nation. Exports and imports are done among the nations. Funds are transferred, loans are transferred from one nation to other nation. So globalization is covering all aspects, economic, political and cultural. Globalization have political consequences, economic consequences and cultural consequences. Okay. So ideas moving from one part of the world to another. Capital, I mean money, also moves from one country to other country. Okay, commodities also traded across the world among the countries. People also moving in search of employment from one country to the other country. I mean movement of people, migration of people, international migration. International migration also comes under what? Globalization. In search of employment, better health, or for higher education, they are migrating. That also comes under what? Globalization. So commodities being traded across borders and people moving in search of better livelihoods to different parts of the world. The crucial element is the worldwide interconnectedness. I mean what I want to say, the present world is interconnected. The entire world is interconnected. All the countries in the world are interconnected through what? Globalization. Today, no country can remain in isolation. No country can say that I am self-sufficient. No need. No need to have any contacts with the rest of the world. No country is there. Every country is depending upon other country, doing trade, commerce, flow of funds, etc., etc. So this crucial element is the worldwide interconnectedness that is created and sustained as a consequence of this constant flows. Now, coming, globalization is a multi-dimensional concept. Yes. Now listen, students, I am telling. Okay. Globalization is I can say, multi-dimensional concept. It covers so many fields, so many areas. It's not a simple or a narrow concept. It's a wider concept. The word globalization is a wider concept. It's a multi-dimensional concept. Cover large areas. Many areas are covered in this word globalization. It has political, economic and cultural manifestations. And these must be adequately distinguished. Now I will tell you what are the causes for globalization. Very, very important question. Describe the causes of globalization. Explain what are the causes of globalization. So let us find out the answer for the question. What are the causes for globalization or causes of globalization? Number one, globalization is about the flows of ideas. Globalization is about the flows of ideas. Capital, money. Money is coming in the form of loans and funds, grants, gifts, aids, etc. So globalization is about the flows of ideas, flow of capital, commodities and people. Here people means what? Migration of people from one country to other country for better livelihood, better jobs. It is perhaps logical to ask. It is perhaps very logical to ask if there is anything novel, novel about this phenomena. Okay. Globalization has a strong historical base or basis. Globalization has a strong historical basis and it is important. I repeat, globalization is having a strong historical basis and it is important to view contemporary flows against this backdrop. While globalization is not caused by a single factor, you cannot say that globalization is only caused because of the technology. It is not caused by a single factor like technology or any other element. Globalization is a cause of many factors. So globalization is not caused by a single factor. Technology remains a critical element in globalization. It is because of the development of technology in the field of transportation, development of technology in the field of communication. I can say transportation and communication both are the major factors which are responsible for what today's globalization. It is with the development of transportation and communication, the advancement of transport and communication, the technology which came in the field of transport and communication have brought a revolutionary change and which is responsible for what? Globalization. Globalization, however, does not emerge merely because of the availability of improved communication. What is important for people in different parts of the world to recognize this interconnectedness? Not only, I say, transportation and communication both are the major factors, but they are not alone. Many other things are there. Today, why one country is connected with other country? Because no country is self-sufficient in mineral resources, natural resources, manufactured goods, technology, education. Hence, they need to depend upon other countries. Exchange of ideas, exchange of technology. That's why it became one of the factors for what? Globalization. Now, Now we will move forward and we will learn what are the consequences of globalization. I already told you earlier, there are three consequences for what? Globalization. Three impacts are there of globalization. One is economic consequence, or I can say political consequence. First one, political consequence. Second is economic consequence or consequences. Third one, cultural consequences. So there are three consequences of what? Globalization. Let us study the political consequences. What is the political consequences of globalization? So listen carefully, students. Now, first one. Under political consequences, what I want to say, globalization results in an erosion of state capacity. Try to understand. Globalization results in an erosion, E-R-O-S-A-O-N, erosion of state capacity. Okay, that is the ability of government to do what they do. Earlier, the capacity of the country, the government, we know how much they can do, how much they cannot do, what they can do, what they cannot do. So today, the capacity of the government of a country is being eroded. The capacity of the governments are being increased nowadays because of globalization. So globalization results in an erosion of what? State capacity, a country's capacity. That is the ability of government to do what they do. Second one, globalization does not always reduce state capacity. I repeat, globalization does not always reduce the state capacity. The capacity of the state government or any country cannot reduce it to globalization. State capacity, country's capacity has received a boost and encouragement. Country's capacity has raised the boost, okay, as a consequence of globalization. I can say it is because of globalization a country's capacity was boosted, developed, increased. So a country's capacity is boosted because of what? Globalization. With enhanced technologies. With enhanced technologies available at the disposal of the state to collect information about its citizens. Today, the technology was advanced, developed. It boosted the government's capacity. With the help of technology, we can easily get information about the citizens of the country easily. Okay, students? Now, this is your political consequence. Up to this, I am stopping today in today's video. Okay. Now, I suggest my students to read the textbook for the same and try to understand actually what globalization is, what are the factors, what are the causes that led to globalization, and what are the consequences. Today we completed up to political consequences of globalization. So here I am ending the class. So read the textbook also thoroughly for better understanding of the concept. Now after this watching this video, I will send you some notes of previous lesson, that is alternative centers of power. So students, thank you very much. Complete the notes in your notebook. Take care. Thank you.